Rangers, it's time to go around the rinks with Binks as we are joined by Julie Stewart-Binks. Julie, Florida played a great game. Rangers just couldn't get it done. What went wrong in this game?
I mean, you look at those highlights, and it's just so frustrating if you're a Rangers fan. You can just see that New York was trying to do what they could with what they had, and one of their players was able to do that the entire series, and that was Igor Shesterkin. He held up his part of the deal. But, of course, with them just trying to be able to get anything on Sergei Bobrovsky, being able to just get into the zone, half of their players, really, we'll talk about it, but weren't able to fire on all cylinders. And when you're looking at who's going to be the right wing on your top line in a must-win elimination game with a chance to force a Game 7, it's not good enough at this point. And you look at the fact that even their defense was not entirely great for this entire series. They'll be wondering, really looking at these guys, were they healthy? We also don't know that as well, and what they could do to do things better. Because if you're a Rangers fan, you're thinking the margins were so close between these two teams. Florida was the better, stronger, bigger team that was able to execute. The Rangers couldn't execute, but you think, what if they could? What if they could have shown up?
All we know is Igor Shesterkin carried the team on his back all this whole playoffs. Now, looking at the series as a whole, what did Florida do so well through 6 games that allowed them to win?
They did it every single game. Consistency of that relentless forecheck. I know no one wants to hear that word relentless anymore, but boy, was it smothering. They were just able to come in those 4 waves. They're able to play team defense. That's what Sasha Barkov talked about before this game. That's what Matthew Tkachuk said after the game. They have such a commitment to their identity, and they also have the ability that they've been here before. We just watched this game, and the fact they didn't hoist the Prince of Wales trophy, that is a bit of a, tradition, a superstition. They did it last year. They didn't do it this year. They've been to the Stanley Cup final. The Rangers haven't been since 2014. There is an experience level that goes into these big must-win games, and they were able to have every single aspect of their game work. 5-on-5. That's all they needed to do, and have a good goaltender. The Rangers heading into the series, it was about Igor Shesterkin and their power play. If you go 1 for 15 on your power play and you rely on your special teams, you can't expect to win a series. You have to be able to score goals 5-on-5.
Yeah, and when you think of the Rangers, you think of 3 guys. You think of Artemi Panarin, Mika Zibanejad, and Chris Kreider. Those 3 didn't really show up much. Are you surprised by that? And how much of the blame falls on those 3?
I am surprised. Artemi Panarin showed up just too little too late. Yeah. He scores 1 goal. It's within the last 2 minutes of this game. You feel for him because you could start to see him trying to put the passes together. He had 4 shots on goal last game. But for a guy that had a career year and he's unable to do anything in this series, Chris Kreider and Mika Zibanejad had stretches throughout the season where they had gone a bit cold. And I, for one, as many other people watching this team, were not really sold on them being consistent players and consistent factors. And we saw that in this series. I think you then go back to looking at the fact that they put Alexander Wennberg on the top line, and they had never had that starting throughout the entire series so far, and even since he had come here at the trade deadline. So I think that it's tough when you look at those big names. They will be facing a lot of questions, as they should, because they are the top guys. They're paid big money for a reason, and you have to be able to show up when the bright lights are on.